Comic News, episode 118. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside... He's gotta go fast. He's Mike.
Like, was that a reference to Sonic?
Yeah.
Have we talked about that on the show yet? I mean, we talked about it before the trailer dropped, right?
Yes, I think we talked about the initial image that leaked, but today is going to be the first time we talk about that spectacular trailer.
Yeah, so we'll save that for the movie news, but man, it's been a wild week. What else came out? Something came out this weekend at the movies. Detective Pikachu.
Yes, which as of this recording I have not seen, but as soon as we hang up these mics, I will be going to the movie theater.
Oh, what time are you going?
About hour and 45 minutes.
All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know if we'll finish this podcast in that amount of time. We do not have a guest today, folks. We're just going to chat it up. It's been a couple weeks. Chris and I. Oh man. Well, I have a comic story, but before a comic story, we had Free Comic Book Day. I hope everybody got their free comics.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hope nobody else destroyed their laptops at Free Comic Day.
So let me tell you a little story about how Chris and I think we're expert podcasters. We're like, yeah, we can set up some live video. Well, we had everybody in one spot to do an awesome show, and Chris opens up his brand new camera that he's ready to record with. First time, the thing looks like he's ready to shoot a Hollywood movie. It's a big upgrade from the thing we had before, and he forgot an SD card.
Yeah, so, that happened.
Yeah, no memory to record anything. So I'm like, oh, well, Chris, I brought my laptop like you asked me to. Why don't we just plug in your mic? We'll just do audio for the day. Go to open up the laptop that I had previously already checked, and I had sat down on the screen with my chair when I moved it and cracked the screen. So, on a laptop and no SD card. So we did not record anything last week.
Hence why there wasn't a show last week.
Yep. A little upset about that, but I will tell you, it was a $500 laptop. I looked up a YouTube video, found a $35 replacement screen, ordered on Amazon, and the laptop is now in working condition.
Yay!
Woohoo! It's actually, so if you ever crack your screen, it's super cheap. It's like $20 to $40 on Amazon to get a new screen, and it's super simple. Like there wasn't even screws in my. All it does, it's just this cheap plastic that like pops off. You have to undo these little screws, and then there's one plug. You just unplug it, plug the new one in. It's like almost like I would say 10 to 12 age version of a Lego. Like rebuild your laptop because it broke. That's the Lego set. That's how I make it fun. I was like, I bought a set of Legos for myself. wait, hold on. Let's think about this. Have you ever thought about man, I just had an idea for realistic adult themed Legos. Like Lego sets, like waiting in line at the DMV Lego set. What's another one? I don't know. Putzing around the lawn Lego set.
Well, they do have a series that I have a few of that are like the Architect series.
I have seen those. Those are pretty legit, but I would call those the adult Legos. But my adult Legos would be I don't know, you're going to eat chicken wings, got to take some Pepto-Bismol. I don't know, make that into a Lego set.
Sitting down to pay your student loans.
Oh, yeah.
That's right, I went there.
That's one of them. Crippling debt. Crippling debt Lego set. We recommend you build this one with a friend. Do not be alone. Yeah, we should probably recommend all the depressing Lego sets. Please build with friends. Do not build alone. Oh man, that is awesome. Anyways, I do have a comic book story though. It was last week. I'm at work, and this is the second or third time this has happened to me. People know I'm the comic book guy, and someone was cleaning out their grandfather's home, and they found in the attic. They found a stack of 10 comics. So I'm like, oh wow. And he comes to me at the end of the day. He's like, I don't know if you want these. You could throw them out. And I was like, oh no, these are awesome. I'm like, this is so crazy. Probably the most random stack of comics I ever got in my entire life. Because a lot of the times people just find 90s shit, and everybody bought 5 of them. So the pile I'll get will be five issues of Death Blow #1 from Image Comics with like the lenticular cover. It's all shiny and stuff. It's like it's not even worth me to open this and read it.
Spawn #1. Spawn #1.
There's like 12 Spawn #1s. Yeah, so I started flipping through. I didn't really look at them, and I was like, oh, thanks so much. This is awesome. There's a couple of the old Marvel books in there that come with like a mini vinyl record to like play while you're reading the book. Yeah, so I have those. I got a couple if you want them. I'll let you have them. I know the way your face lit up.
I've wanted those for a long time.
Yeah, and I think they're in working condition, so I'll get them to you. There's an old Spider-Man book, I think like 166, something like that. But the gem in there, and they're all random. I mean, there's like a Commandi #1, like that people use that as toilet paper. But there's one book, and I don't know. There's like sometimes people think miracles can't happen. I don't know, but like I will say this: the book is not in good condition. If anything, it's a reading copy, so it's not worth anything, but it's worth everything to me. And it's a great cover. It's Shazam #28 from the 1970s run. I think so. I think it's volume 3 or volume 4. It's the Silver Age appearance of Black Adam. His second appearance, and he's on the cover like flying at Billy Batson. It's actually if you read the issue, it's the way they introduce him. They kind of introduce him in the Shazam movie. They talk about, oh, this is the guy I gave power to once before. He shows up. He's like, Billy Batson, you piece of shit. That's basically how it goes. But it's actually worth a considerable amount of money if you got it in good condition. But I'm not going to give it away. It's an awesome cover, and it's an awesome reading copy to have. So really cool. It was a cool thing to happen to me.
I had something similar happen like a few weeks back, actually.
Oh, yeah?
One of my customers is he goes online and he buys and sells comics, and he reads too, but he also just goes and flips them, and that's how he like pays for his comics.
Yeah.
And in one of the trades, somebody wanted to get rid of a bunch of Submariner because nobody likes Submariner except for me. And so he had a ton of that, and then there was like 2 books in there that are actually like worth it. So he did the trade. And then he comes in, he goes, I know you're like a huge Invaders fan. Do you want all these old Submariner books? And they were all like you said, reader copies.
Yeah.
And I'm just like flipping through them, and fairly random. There's like probably 15 or 20 comics there. And I was like, fuck yeah, I want these Submariner books. I go, what do you want for them? He goes, dude, like I got them in a trade. The other 2 books are worth way more. I was like, so you can have them. I was like, oh, thanks, man. That was awesome.
That's so cool.
And he's like, yeah, like they're just Submariner. But it's like I'm the only person that's excited about a Submariner comic until the MCU movies come out.
It's like me when I would stumble on a Booster Gold book.
Yeah.
It's actually not true anymore. I think Booster Gold has gone up in price since Tom King made him an all-star. Like centered the DC universe around it. That's true. I do have Booster Gold #1, but I think a lot of people do. So let's just get into the news. We had some exciting news. I'm probably going to spend quite a bit of time talking about the second thing, so we'll go with the first one. Hulu is now. This kind of confuses me, but we'll talk about it. So Hulu orders a Ghost Rider and a Hellstorm live-action series. Gabriel Luna will be back as Ghost Rider. So it's a continuation of the show, right? From before? Or is he just playing the actor?
He was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as Ghost Rider.
Yeah, okay. So they're just continuing the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. shows? Basically?
Well, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. still goes on. Like, it's still a show. But they're going to do kind of their own little corner universe of magical types, and he's going to play Ghost Rider as his own show now, as opposed to being a character in another show.
I think that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, it's important because it means they're not doing Johnny Blaze. They're doing the Ghost, as we lovingly call him, the Ghost Driver. And it's just interesting because it's A, that is not on Disney Plus.
Right.
And B, that they're doing a live action like magical corner of the universe, and these are the first two announced. And Hellstrom is like fairly random.
Yeah,
but I'm down. I'll check them out at least.
yeah, it's weird because I think Hulu is technically Fox, right, or something. So
well, yeah, with the merger, Disney owns like a fourth. I think it was.
It's so weird because like Agents of Shield is on what ABC, and if you have your own streaming service, you're right. Like why? But now they're like, oh shit, Hulu needs to do well still, even though we have Disney streaming service.
Well, that's why everyone bow down to your Mickey Overlord.
Right.
Yeah, because Disney owns ABC. They always did, and now with the merger, they own like a majority of Hulu, and then they're going to start their own streaming service. So it's like, yeah, we got ours that we want to do well, but we're also going to like throw bones to these other people.
And they're like, shit, we forgot about Hulu.
Yeah, but ABC, like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is actually going on like season 6. We don't talk about it much because I kind of watch it in passing, and I don't think I watch it at all.
No.
But yeah, that show is going on strong.
Wow, that's pretty cool. The thing that did happen this week, though, for TV at least, we got the Watchmen trailer, which was like, up until the trailer got released, I completely forgot HBO was doing a Watchmen. I've honestly, as far as HBO goes, I've been watching Game of Thrones. I don't really talk about it on here. It's not a Game of Thrones podcast. I will say that I've been loving the memes of how shitty the season has been. They have been the best memes of any season.
My absolute favorite was the Wayne's World one.
Oh, yeah. They're all great.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so I'm just going to say that the season's been shitty, at least I think, and there's been awesome memes coming out of it. So HBO is like, all right, we're ditching Game of Thrones. We're going to do something cooler. We get the Watchmen trailer. We get to see a bunch of different characters, some new characters. We see like Rorschach is dead. We see an army of Rorschach people supporting him almost. And they did confirm Mime and Marionette.
Oh, did they? I didn't see that.
Yeah, they confirmed. So Mime and Marionette are in it from, if anybody's reading Doomsday Clock. Those are brand new characters. But it looks like, so it's, I had to read up on the continuity because it's really confusing, right? If it stays within the continuity or if it's like a whole new reboot. And I guess it's part of continuity. It's not a reboot, but it's not a sequel either. So it's just kind of its own thing. Right?
I'm going into it treating it as a sequel.
Okay.
I don't know about all that, but it looked to me like it's a sequel to what happened in Watchmen.
That's what I think.
So I thought it looked interesting. I'm down for more of the Watchmen universe. I'm also down to see kind of, Watchmen ends in a way, and I know the statement that Alan Moore wanted to make with Watchmen, but it ends in a way where it's like, okay, this will work for 10 years. And then after that, people are going to slowly, humans are fickle, and the warmongering is going to come back. You can't just, that threat is going to go away with time. So It's interesting to watch them kind of jump into this, the superhumans are coming back, and this is happening. So I'm really down to see more of this. I'm really excited for it. And I only say it's not a sequel because I was seeing how the writer or the creator director was pissing people off because it's taking Watchmen, but he released a 5-page letter that he wrote on his Instagram about why this is important to him and why he understands the fan base and all that stuff, and like you said, it's more of that Watchmen is so good in its own sense was because the era that you were reading it in, we're kind of out of that era now, and he wanted to adapt something to more like a realistic and updated version, like Trump and all the global warming and all that stuff, more relevant issues today. Yeah.
Relevant politics, I guess. So
Well, maybe that was just the feeling I got from this trailer. Now this was
Yeah,
a minute and change trailer,
right.
and it was out of context lines, so it seemed to me like it was Ozymandias as an older man, and Rorschach was no longer around. So that's how I took it. But
Right. Well, now
who
they're
knows?
talking about using Jeff Johns characters too. It's like, okay, we'll probably get a new, younger Rorschach. And either way, I'm on board. We already got, like, as far as the original Watchmen goes, and I was talking about this with some friends, we already got the copy paste Watchmen movie, right? And if you watch the extended version, it has Tales of the Black Freighter and all that stuff. So it's like we got the adaptation we wanted, and you really can't do much more than that. Yeah, it's exciting. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be good.
Which was why I remember we both said when they announced this, like, why? Because
Right, I know.
the Snyder movie is perfect. So
Right. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So that's. I mean, look out for that. I'm definitely. I'm actually thinking about getting HBO Go so I can watch them when they come out, just to support it. But yeah, that's. We got a Swamp Thing teaser trailer. Did you watch that?
yeah, it was basically just Abby Arcane lying there next to Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
So basically,
So-
we just got our confirmation that Abby Arcane is in the show.
Yeah. She's in the show, and she loves her some Swamp Thing.
Yeah, it did, though, get into something that I think I said I didn't believe they would do, which is the relationship between those two.
Right, yeah, we talked about that. So they must have listened to our podcast. They're like, oh, let's clear this up for Fortress Cog News. We'll release this teaser.
That's definitely what happened.
No, it was mostly because people are going around like, is she gonna fuck this guy? Well,
Is there? So I never saw that Del Toro movie. Is there a scene where they like actually make love?
I don't know. I
Oh, you never
can't.
saw
I
it?
no, I won't. I refuse.
Oh, I was gonna say it'd be funny if they just like cut to that, like in the
Oh,
whole
I'm
season,
sorry.
and then at the end.
I thought you meant the original Swamp Thing.
No,
No,
no.
you're talking about Shape of Water. Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. Oh, it's weird.
Okay, so
Like,
at the end of
yeah.
Swamp Thing, they should literally just cut to that. Like that should be the last like 5 minutes of the show.
They don't like show them like banging, but it's like, I don't know. She describes later to her friend how like yeah, I'm not even going to get into it. But yes, it does happen. Yeah, so that's interesting. Let's go to the movie news. There's all this speculation and stuff coming around the end of Endgame. This is no spoilers for this, but did Endgame set up Kang the Conqueror as the next big Marvel villain? What do you think?
So I want to go in with this conversation by saying the Russo brothers said I'm allowed to spoil it now. So
Yes.
full spoilers ahead.
I don't know who first.
So there's a huge time travel aspect to Endgame, and there's a lot of messing with the timeline. What better way to bring in a character like Kang the Conqueror? Now that you've already been like fucked with everybody's mind by like introducing time travel and the
Right.
rules that are or lack thereof that are there,
Mhm.
why not bring the ultimate time traveler in as the next villain and then lead up to some big, Endgame like movie with Kang the Conqueror? That would be awesome.
Yeah,
Just
why not?
awesome.
Why
And
not?
you don't got to mess around with stones and all this weird shit. All you got to do is keep Paul Rudd in the job.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I'm just reading about he's a time traveler. Several alternate versions of him have appeared throughout Marvel's titles. He almost
And
looks like Brainiac.
what's very interesting too is, if I remember correctly, he's a alternate. Let me see if I can remember this correctly. He's some sort of descendant of Reed Richards.
Oh man,
I think he's a son or grandson of Reed Richards, who then goes
Dude.
back in time and does. So that even ties in even
Dude.
more, where
yes.
you tie that directly into the Fantastic Four movie.
You get Reed Richards in for like 10 movies, then he sacrifices himself to destroy King. Dude, we just made your next 10 movies, Marvel. Come on, bro. Get us really invested in Reed Richards as the new Tony Stark for the MCU, and then boom, kill him off.
So the rumor mills are abound once again that Jim from The Office is going to play Reed Richards. So,
Dude, sold. Can't wait. Yeah, so we got the Suicide Squad casting, which is I'm actually really excited for Polka Dot Man. I think they picked a great guy. David DeSmalchin is the actor that's appeared in DC and Marvel. He was in the Ant-Man movie, and he was in the Dark Knight movie. And then Daniela.
He was in all three.
All three Dark Knight movies?
Scarecrow.
Really? No. David DeSmalchin is not Scarecrow. That's the guy from Peaky Blinders. David DeSmalchin is the cop that shoots at Commissioner Gordon in the scene in The Dark Knight, and they interrogate him after.
Oh, I must have mixed up the...
Yeah, you're thinking of Cillian Murphy, but they look kind of similar.
Okay.
But DeSmalchin he was the Russian guy in Ant-Man.
Oh.
Yep, part of the Ant-Man crew. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And Daniela Melchior? I don't know. Melchior, I don't know. What is that name?
I don't know.
How did you spell it? Hold on. Melchior. Daniela Melchior. That doesn't sound like a word. What the hell, man?
That's why I make you say these names.
Oh, God. Anyways, I don't know who she is, but they're in it. Then Star Wars. Man, Disney just can't be out of the press for 1 week. They're like, okay, we ended the Avengers, we dropped the Star Wars trailer, and boom. So now we're in the news again because we announced 3 new Star Wars. Did they say we're going to take a break? They're like, we're going to take a break from Star Wars after Episode 9.
They are taking a break.
Move
forward into the story, and you'll see they are taking a break.
2022, right? 2024 and 2026. They announced 3 new movies.
2 years without a Star Wars movie. That's going to be a long 2 years for me.
Dude, that's how it's been.
No, I've had a Star Wars movie every year since Force Awakens.
Well, I think those are the main trilogy dates.
Yeah, but who knows if we're going to get ones in between.
Disney is like, they just set my next decade of time. They're like, hey, 2022, 2024, 2026. I know where I'll be in my 30s now. Thank you, Disney.
To be fair, I already know where I'm going to be in my 30s.
Yeah, I know. You'll be in your 30s, I'll be in my 30s. We'll both be watching Star Wars. Nothing much has changed. Yeah, but that's cool. They're just like, yeah, we'll just let you know. Here you go.
So this is most likely the Rian Johnson trilogy.
Yeah.
So ready.
Then we got a couple other trailers. We'll talk about the atrocious... This came out a while ago. Now we can talk about all the stuff happening with it. The Sonic the Hedgehog movie, that hot piece of trash. Well, yeah, so first off, man, they used Amish Paradise for the trailer, which was, man, what a terror. Who fired that person?
So...
Why did they use Amish Paradise?
I have a customer who's a big video game fan, and I walked in, I asked him if he saw the trailer, and he said no. And I said, well, what if I told you that the Sonic the Hedgehog trailer had Jim Carrey acting like Jim Carrey again?
Yes.
Sonic fucking shit up, going really fast, and it was all done to the tune of Gangster's Paradise. And he looked at me and said, that sounds amazing. And I said, well, you should not watch this trailer then.
You should definitely not watch this trailer. I will say, everybody keeps talking about how Jim Carrey is going to carry this movie. His Dr. I don't know. His Dr. Eggman, I'm not convinced, but that's just him being Jim Carrey. I guess.
So
I don't know.
I've had some thoughts. I've been keeping in on this. So first of all, okay, I'm excited that Jim Carrey's going to be Jim Carrey again.
Yeah.
I'm not all that excited that is going to be Eggman because...
Right, I know.
He basically steals the whole shtick from Grandma's Boy for this trailer. And the only part where he even resembles Eggman for me is right at the end when they're back on what I presume is Sonic's home planet. The other thing is like... it's not like Jim Carrey gave like an Oscar-worthy performance in that trailer. Like,
Right.
he told some stupid jokes, yelled at people, and then pretended to be a robot. Like, let's calm down, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get the whole thing, but I did like that the director came out and said, like, we hear you. Sonic looks like a giant garbage rat, and we're gonna change it before the movie.
Yeah, so everybody is complaining mostly about the way Sonic looked, and and he had human teeth, which was very confusing. That was like, it was like he was wearing dentures or something. Yeah, Sonic doesn't look like Sonic. They didn't even try.
I saw a picture online. You make him short, a little bit chunkier because he's too skinny.
Right.
Widen the eyes out, and I don't know how you fix the teeth because he has to have teeth.
Right, but don't make him human teeth. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird. But my last comment on this is one of my close friends. I texted him right after the trailer launched, and I was like, "Did you see the trailer?" He said, "Yeah." And I said, "So are we gonna go see it in theaters?" He said, "Yes." And then he responds a few minutes later, "I need to see where this train wreck ends out." So you will hear my thoughts on this movie. But yeah, it does not look like it's going to be a good time.
It's a train wreck. You can't look away.
Yeah.
You got to see it go down in flames. Yeah, so it's, I don't think anybody's really excited about it. But we did get an amazing trailer. Amazing Spider-Man trailer. Well, it's just called Spider-Man Far From Home. But yeah, we got a trailer, and it is filled with Infinity War Endgame spoilers. So hence the Russo brothers gave everybody permission to talk about it.
Yeah.
Man, this movie took a crazy turn that I did not. They just opened up with like, oh yeah, Tony Stark's dead. What? Which it makes sense. Like, you want to see everybody's reaction to Tony Stark and the Avengers and all that stuff. So that's pretty smart that they're opening up with that. They're not just ignoring that with this movie.
Yeah.
Which is really smart. And then we get whether it's real or not. I mean, this trailer shows Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio in a very hero-esque light, right? But if anybody knows Mysterio, he's really good at tricking and being mysterious and double-crossing and all that stuff. So I don't think that's going to be the way it's going to go.
But the most important thing here is that we now have confirmation of a multiverse in the MCU.
Right. And let me talk about my thoughts on this, because it's awesome. When I heard multiverse, I was like, yes, someone's doing it, right? It's gonna, like, and there's movies and characters that it's all gonna work. I'm very excited for this. Whether it's DC or Marvel or anything, honestly, if you incorporate time travel and multiple universes, I'm just all over that shit. This movie is going to be used. So this is my conspiracy theory with Disney and multiversity stuff. This is Disney's product testing for having a multiverse moving forward with the next set of movies, because I think there is a multiverse within Marvel. I think that's going to happen. I think that Mysterio is tricking them into thinking that there is, or maybe he does know that there is, and he's from another whatever. But they aren't actually going to get involved in multiverses in this movie. So it's almost like, we're going to test the fans. We're going to see how this movie goes, see their reaction to there being a multiverse. If they can grasp that and understand, like, moving forward, they're going to be okay with this. It's going to get kind of comic booky. And then we're going to use the multiverse later in these other movies. Right.
So my thought process for this was that I thought you were going a different direction when you started talking, so that's why I was shaking my head.
Oh.
Mysterio's the bad guy.
Right.
He's come over here, made Fury think he's a good guy.
Right.
He's really playing one over on him. The thing I think is happening here is we have confirmation of multiverse. We might not particularly jump to another universe in this movie, but I do think this is the crux moving forward with the MCU, because we can do a couple things here. One, and I think this is just a benefactor, is that now that you have the mutants, you can do what I've always been saying. The mutants are their own universe.
Right.
They do their thing, and then after, I don't know, 5 years, you just do a Secret Wars movie. You can also, when Tom Holland is no longer available to do Spider-Man, boop, Miles Morales is now Spider-Man from another universe, just like they did in the comics.
Yep.
Then there's just other things they can do. There could be different versions of Iron Man floating around that just pop over. Like, there's just a ton of story elements they can use for this, and it can all culminate in, a Secret Wars movie and just different types of movies. So I think this was planned directly, that this is kind of a lifeboat for the MCU in case someone gets too old, someone because they ran into a situation later in the Infinity Saga where Evans and Downey Jr. were getting expensive, and they had to keep paying them to bring them back.
Right.
Because their contracts were over. It's just like, oh, you guys got to come back and finish this. And I think this is kind of more of a lifeboat to say, all right, Tom Holland, you've been around for 10 years. We're moving forward, and we're going to do Miles now. And then they can do that with other characters as well. But
yeah, it's just ingenious that though, because like we said, they can introduce multiverse and not actually have to go there. Yeah. And then they can test the waters, be like, oh, what did the audience like and what did they not like about this? You know what I mean? They can test it out in this movie and then be like, oh, scratch that. We're not going to make it a huge part of this, or we're going to have it more involved. It's like, dude, Disney is just like, oh man, they understand.
Well, they're already doing comic booky things moving forward with the MCU. I mean, we're going to get Gamora. Yeah. That's a time-displaced Gamora.
Yeah, I know. We can't think about that too much.
From an alternate timeline.
Right.
That is the most comic booky shit I've ever heard.
They're just doing it. They're like, we don't even care. I want to see the end of Spider-Man: Homecoming, like a time portal opens up and boom, the Quinjet comes through. And then roll credits. I think I don't know, but I thought that would be cool.
I just really want, and I want the rumors to be true. The Chameleon somewhere in this movie, because that'd be really cool too.
Oh, the Spider-Man villain Chameleon, yeah. I want to see Scorpion. Have you ever gotten a Scorpion?
No, but we did get the tease for Scorpion in the last Spider-Man movie.
That's right. Yeah.
And there is going to be at some point, Spider-Man is building its own little mini event by doing Sinister Six. That is going to happen.
Right. Okay, so we will get a Scorpion.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, have you watched anything recently?
What's the name of the Ted Bundy movie that came out?
Oh yeah, I watched that as well. I don't know, something about Ted Bundy.
So there's a Ted Bundy movie on Netflix. All the criticisms, and Mike and I have already talked about this movie a couple of times, but all the criticism Mike's will throw out there, I agree with. If you don't know the story of Ted Bundy,
very confusing.
It can be very confusing, and some of the editing is a little wonky in this movie. All of that to the side, I actually really enjoy this movie for what it is, and it's not a movie about Ted Bundy and Bundy murdering people. It's a movie about the other people in Bundy's life and how somebody can get seduced by somebody so sick and vile. And most importantly, it's about his first fiance who he convinced that was innocent, and kind of her feelings of survivor's guilt and the fact that he never did any of these things to her, but how many times, I think there's literally a line, how many times did you have your hands around my neck? And how many times were you in bed with me? And all this stuff. So it's an interesting movie if you're familiar with the story. And I thought Zac Efron was fantastic.
Yeah, he's the best part.
Yeah.
I'm caught up in Flash. Flash was really good this week. Have you been watching it?
No.
Oh. Well, basically, this last episode set up Reverse Flash as the villain for next season. He had this crazy plan to utilize Cicada and Flash's daughter to get to remove the dagger that Cicada was using, the the cicada's niece from the future had a dagger, and it got the Flash team had to get rid of the dagger. So in doing so, getting rid of the dagger, in the future, the thing that is keeping Reverse Flash depowered is they have the dagger strapped to his suit. And so, like, they get rid of the dagger in that timeline because the Reverse Flash has made it so using his daughter. So now it never gets to the point where they can use it on the Reverse Flash. So it like ends with them removing the dagger. Like Ralph Dibny figures it out. He's like, "No, don't shoot the dagger," and they shoot the dagger, and then it shows like Reverse Flash on death row, and they remove the suit and the dagger sitting there, so it's going to disappear. It's not going to be in the timeline anymore. And it's like, oh shit! It was so awesome. It was like, dude, this whole season has been set up by him. Amazing. It was an awesome reveal. So season finale is going to be crazy. But
would you say cray cray?
Oh, cray cray. Let's talk about comic news. Cray cray. This season of Flash finale is going to be cray cray. Fortune's comic news. Direct quote from us. David Marquez signs an exclusive deal with DC Comics. Woohoo! Good for him.
Yeah, another Bendis guy moving over.
Yeah. I know. It's like he's got a league of their own or something now.
Yeah. So it's good news.
Yeah. There's a new Batman Superman title announced for August, written by Joshua Williams. Should be Josh Williamson or Williams? Probably Williamson.
Probably Williamson, yeah.
And David Marquez. Oh, look at that. He's already, which I will be picking this up. Batman, Superman, Josh Williamson on it.
Yeah. Okay. Josh Williamson's like a longtime guy who hasn't really broke out, and this could be the book that does it. And what's even bigger about this is it's kind of a sequel to The Batman Who Laughs, because The Batman Who Laughs is going to be the main villain, and he's creating a brand new Sinister Six. I'll probably check it out as well, but it's on a short leash for me because those Batman Superman books I always check out and they never live up to the hype.
I just want to let you know, when you said you're waiting for Joshua Williamson to break out, he's the current writer of Birthright. That amazing book from Image. Have you never read it?
I'm aware. He's not in the level of a Scott Snyder or Grant Morrison. Or he's always been on the bubble. I mean, he's writing Flash too. I'm not saying he's a schlub, but he just hasn't really broke out into the mainstream comic scene. Yeah,
he's going to be. I think after Heroes in Crisis, I think Tom King is going to get knocked down a level, and then Joshua Williamson's going to like climb over him and be like, "Oh, I'm up here."
Kick him on his way up.
This is amazing. But that's exciting. I might check that out. Batman Who Laughs has been extended to a 7th issue. So
probably to bridge the gap to Batman Superman.
Yeah. So those two things go hand in hand. Patrick Gleason signs an exclusive deal with Marvel Comics. That's pretty cool. He's a good writer.
The old swapperoo.
Yeah, he comes over and we get. It's like a free trade or something. They should do like. Oh man, can you imagine they do a comic draft, dude? Please, 2020 comic draft.
Marvel, DC, call me. 2020 comic draft.
All
your creators are on the line.
Have every comic book people there. It's like, oh man, who's Dynamite going to bid on this year?
I like Gleason. He does good work.
Yeah, he does.
I'll be interested to see what he does at Marvel, though.
Yep.
Because I can't put a character to him.
Journey to Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker Allegiance. Man, what a long. I think they're running out of words to put together for the Star Wars books.
I love these Journey 2 books.
They announced a 4-issue series by Ethan Sachs and Luke Ross. That's pretty cool.
Yep, I'll read it. It says Star Wars in the title. I'll read it.
Man, that's surprising.
Ethan Sachs has been doing a lot of Star Wars stuff, though, and he's actually really good, so...
Awesome. And then Marvel announces Marvel Comics number 1,000 for August. It has it's like almost like Action Comics 1,000, right? It has a bunch of creative teams, and it's helmed by Al Ewing. Ooh, what is Al working on right now?
It has all the creative teams. Al's doing Immortal Hulk right now, which everybody's loving.
So maybe it revolves around that, I guess.
It's So anyone who knows their Marvel history, there is a book called Marvel Comics. It's changed names to like Marvel Presents, and something else, but it only lasted like 90 something issues. So I don't know where they're getting 1,000 from. I think they just like, hey, DC is getting 1,000 issues, making lots of money. Let's do that. We don't have 1,000 issues of anything. I don't care. Right. Put the number 1,000 on the title.
Make them buy it.
Al Ewing has a plan for this. A lot of the creative teams, like this, I think it's the first time Brad Meltzer's done anything Marvel.
Oh yeah.
If you saw there's these teasers in Marvel books the past week of different creative teams. I know Mark Waid was on there, Brad Meltzer, Donny Cates. Mm-hmm. Anyone that's done a Marvel book was on that teaser, and they're all a part of this. And Al Ewing is setting up a story that's going to lead into kind of where Marvel's going into next year. So think Marvel. Any Marvel fans out there, think Marvel Legacy. Marvel Legacy was it 2 years ago when we got the Ghost Rider riding a woolly mammoth.
Oh yeah.
I have a feeling that that's the kind of setup they're going for with this. But yeah, I mean, I'll buy it, but it's a really bad gimmick. Like,
yeah.
At least DC earned. Like, okay, I give DC crap all the time for not earning it in movies. Mm-hmm. DC earned it in comics. Marvel did not earn this 1,000.
They didn't.
There, I am fair and balanced. Welcome to Fox News.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, that just came out.
Oh yeah, that was like, man, that was deep down in there. That was something happening. All right.
Time for Rush Limbaugh.
Oh god. All right. So I'm going to talk about the comics I read over the last couple weeks. We're going to breeze through them because there's so many. Paper Girls number 28. Haven't had Paper Girls in a while. Basically, there's 4 separate timelines happening right now, and it almost kind of gets wrapped up in the issue where you see like a lot of things happening in the different eras that are pretty key important moments, and it looks like the last issue might wrap up. It almost looks like they're setting up to end on issue 30, or at least like a hard reboot, because they're talking about the girls need to get back to the spot in the 1980s where they actually first traveled through time. And I think it resets, or they can go back to where they were. Justice League number 23.
Did I read that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Did I read that? It had to do with the 6th dimension. And, oh, yes, dude. I did read it, so let me talk about it. There's a crazy... Well, we know Superman's trapped, right? So in the middle of the issue, Superman, he breaks free, while the Justice League is still, stuck on the 6th dimension with the evil Lois Lane. And they're like fighting those people, saying, oh, like, you guys need to go. And Lois, they're like, Lois, you should be friends with us. She's like, no, you guys are evil, blah, blah, blah.
I did read this.
Yeah. So correct me if I missed anything, but like they're fighting, and basically Batman, who is the most logical of all the Justice Leaguers, we found out, is actually talking with the World Forger, having a conversation. He basically says to keep the multiverse the way it is, and to save everyone, you need to kill Superman.
Yep.
And being the logical person that he is Clark's friend, but I mean, one life for everybody is, I mean, it seems kind of selfish, right? It's not his life, but it's his best friend's. So the issue ends with him sacrificing. He says, yeah, we'll sacrifice Superman to keep everybody. And it shows like Superman flying, and then the sun goes out and he basically falls into darkness, and we don't know where Superman is.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy issue.
Justice League is awesome.
Yeah. It's really, there was a complete 180. It's great. Batman number 70, really cool, finally, where we get Batman in real time. Thank God. It's him fighting, and he comes back in like full form. He's fighting all the villains in Arkham, and he's like, I mean, he's Batman, and these are the villains that he's already taken out, and like he basically like goes to Mr. Freeze, is like, I've beaten you so many times. Why are you even trying? And he kind of like gives up and he punches him. And then like Scarecrow, he uses his gas against him, and it's just him breaking out of Arkham. It was a really good issue. I'll jump to this week. I had I had a couple books that I didn't get to read. I have Hit Girl season 2, Murder Falcon, Hit Girl season 2 number 4, the last issue. I have not read that yet. Murder Falcon number 8, have not read that yet. Wonder Twins number 4 came out this week though. Did you read that?
Yes.
This is the book when we talked to Tom Pear. I'm sorry, Mark Russell. Mark Russell. When we talked to Mark Russell, we had mentioned Codpiece, and I did not see a Codpiece in the big supervillain party reveal.
He was not in there.
He wasn't in there, but
DC, you fail me again. God damn it!
But it's a great issue nonetheless. The supervillains have like a mixer, and that's pretty awesome. And then we see both the Wonder Twins as they explore their going on a date, which is you see the brother and sister experiencing their own shitty dates, which is pretty funny. Yeah. I thought it was a good issue nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a really good book. Everybody should definitely be reading it.
It's got a lot of heart. All these really good books have a lot of heart. Shazam. Speaking of heart, Shazam came out, right? Number 5, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. Man, this book is amazing. Basically, you got Black Adam's pissed. He's going into the Magic Lands. It shows the two brothers that are stuck in the Game Lands and how they're going to beat the person with 1,000,000 points, because that's how they escape. And so like they spend even more of their points to go into debt to get a chance to race them, and then they find out the one brother who's actually good at video games can't compete. The like clumsy brother has to. So we're going to see how that goes. And then we see Shazam and Mary Marvel. Mary Marvel breaks out and transforms, and she goes, "Yeah, I'm stunning, I know," or something like that. It was pretty awesome. Yeah, I thought it was a good issue.
Yeah, and the whole issue was basically Black Adam's coming. Black Adam's coming. Black Adam's coming.
Oh.
No, he runs into Dr. Savannah.
Yeah, he runs into Dr. Savannah, so still not there yet. But I mean, hey, if we get more Shazam issues, I'm okay with that. That's fine.
I want an entire comic book based in the Wildlands. That court scene was awesome.
Yeah, they show the Wildlands, the court scene of what was their lawyer? I can't remember what animal the lawyer was.
A sheepdog.
Was it a rabbit? A sheepdog. Yes. Oh, so good. Yeah. That's amazing. And then I read a bunch of the free comic book day stuff. Was really awesome that Other Earth, right? Is that what it's called?
Wrong Earth
by Tom Pear. Dude, I thought this was just an issue 1. It's a new story from the universe.
Yeah, they're doing a sequel to Wrong Earth.
Yeah, but this was like, it was just a day in Wrong Earth. It was them fighting both villains and dealing with like the police force cracking down on them, which was awesome. It was such a great issue. I love that book so much.
Yeah, which I'll take the time to point out now. Wrong Earth is out in trade.
Yeah,
will be out in bookstores and Amazon this week. The guys at Ahoy were nice enough to send me one, so if you are interested in that book, check it out, because Mike really liked it, and I'll let you know if I like it whenever I get around to reading it.
Oh, yes. That's awesome. It's I have every issue. It's so good. So, and I read the Stranger Things one, which Stranger Things comic isn't something I would normally read. I enjoy Stranger Things, but it was a cool story. Basically takes place in between season 1 and season 2, where Mike is like upset that 11 is gone, and the older sister and the boyfriend want to cheer him up, so they get him to like start writing a D&D campaign, or like he busts out D&D, and that's how the issue ends. It was a pretty cool issue. But there's an issue we have to talk about. And I can't believe I've never even heard of this, because apparently when I flip through the book, it's a thing that's been going on. I know what you know what I'm going to say. Blastosaurus.
Blastosaurus rules.
Blastosaurus. Why are we not talking about this book? My God.
Loved Blastosaurus. Blastosaurus was such a good book.
Blastosaurus was easily the best free comic book day book.
Blastosaurus has like 3 volumes too. Trust me. I looked them up. I emailed them. I love Blastosaurus.
Great. And I cannot wait to talk to these people on the show. I hope they respond soon because this book is amazing.
Yeah, it was great. I want to pick up the other volumes because I really loved the Free Comic Book Day issue.
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a ridiculous detective on a ridiculous Earth where crazy shit happens.
Yeah.
And he's a dinosaur.
Yeah.
He's a dinosaur detective. What more do you want? I mean, how am I not selling the book to you? Buy the book.
So to circle the Free Comic Book Day issues, the Spider-Man issue,
Yep.
that set up the Absolute Carnage series that Donny Cates is doing. It was really good, except for the fact that it's super confusing.
Oh, yeah.
Donny Cates went on Twitter and clarified it. Openly admitted, he said, I screwed up. I didn't add a portion to this to explain, but that entire book was Cletus Cassidy disguised as Eddie Brock, not Eddie Brock. So that's why that happened. He even admitted that it was confusing.
Yeah.
So once you realize that, it's a really cool story. And then I forgot the name. Oh, Ignition. H1 Ignition. So H1 Ignition is the first book in the new universe that H1 or Humanoid, I think they used to be called, Comics is making, and it's helmed by Mark Waid. So I checked that one out because I'm interested to see what they have in store. It was an interesting story, and it really was just kind of my favorite thing in the world, which is superhero origins over and over again. And but they're all connected, and it leads into what the first issue is going to be. So I'm interested to check that out when it comes out. So those were good, and I think you can still go on Comixology and read all these for free. So check those.
Cool.
I'm going to try to go as fast as I can with these. Walking Dead 191. We almost had a big fight, and now Rick has been shot in the chest by a little boy.
Oh, no.
He's definitely dead. Deceased #1. This was the zombie DC book by Tom Taylor, and I thought it was a good first issue. I thought it was interesting how they got the virus and it came to Earth. But what made it really interesting is Batman is one of the few that doesn't get affected initially, and so everybody's like, we need to go find Batman, and he's hauled up in his Batcave, and hears screams coming from upstairs, and it's Alfred, and all the Robins and Nightwing have turned. And the book kind of ends with Batman trying to fight off Nightwing and ends up getting bit. So it was kind of a cool ending to the story because now I get to see zombie Batman.
Oh, yeah, I did read that.
Yeah.
Dude, there's so many books I've read I couldn't even remember.
Yeah, some of these are from last week, so that's what I'm trying to run through. Savage Avengers #1 was another one I want to talk about. It's Jerry Duggan and Mike Deodato Jr. This is the one that has like Conan, the Punisher, Wolverine, and like the stupidest team I've ever seen. But it was a really cool issue. Half of this issue was basically Conan trying to kill Wolverine over and over again and being pissed that he can't. So I really like that dynamic. And I like how they took a trope from Conan's world and made that the villain for the first story arc, and how they're bringing the Punisher into the team. So I actually recommend that book. It was a lot of fun. The art's fantastic, and there's a lot of action in it. We talked about Shazam.
Yep.
Captain America #10 was a good issue, but not great. Ta-Nehisi Coates has that going for him. He does good, not great. Mighty Mascots #1. Everyone remembers we had
Mighty Mascot.
Keith Gleason on the show, and his book finally came out from Alterna, so it's like $1.50 at your shops. It's a little bit different from the one that we got on Kickstarter, but not by much, and it was still a really good issue. Looks really good on that newsprint and everything. This is not a commercial for Alterna. I just love Keith Gleason. He's been a good guy since we got to meet him, and I like the book.
Right.
Justice League Odyssey. I haven't talked about this a lot, but
you're still reading that.
Dan Abnett took over, and the book has been fantastic ever since he took over. So we're trying to find these different artifacts in this lost universe, and basically Darkseid has a plan to get all these characters to get the different artifacts for him so that he can do something with them. And it's very interesting because Darkseid has kind of openly admitted that through the plans to make him a infant and then his accelerated growth, he's not the Darkseid we know. So he's using a lot of deception to get by, as opposed to just brute strength and laser beams. It's really good. I recommend people check it out. The first volume was good, but ever since Dan Abnett took over, it's been really, really good. Batman Will Last #5. It's a decent series. I think at this point, Scott Snyder just likes coming up with different versions of Batman, because that's what this book kind of is. And in this one, we get a Batman who, after the Court of Owls, decides to take over the Court of Owls. Nice. And he pops up. So we get kind of the idea of what the plan is and where it's going, and we're going to get into the final confrontation because the next issue is the last issue. We talked about the Wonder Twins. Boba Fett, Star Wars, Age of the Rebellion, Boba Fett. This is a Western comic set in Star Wars universe with Boba Fett as the lead. It was awesome. It was all about how Boba Fett is, he doesn't care who you are. If you have a bounty on your head, he's going to hunt you down. Loving these one-shots. I say it every time I bring it up. And then Conan the Barbarian #6, another just fun sword and sorcery action comic. Really liking it. So I think that is all the comics I have. So Mike, if people want to find you on those internets, where could they find you?
Fortress Ricker. That's where they can find me. Where can they find you, Christopher?
Why they could find me at Fortress Chris or at FortressComicNews.com, where everything we do is right there on that handy dandy website. Or if you want to find FortressComicNews.com on Twitter, you go to FC_official. We haven't done this in a week, so I'm rusty.
Yep.
Find us on YouTube. Find us on YouTube, youtube.com/FortressComicNews. Remember, go there, give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment down below. If you're listening to us on iTunes or any other podcatcher, give us a 5-star review. It helps us find more people. And share with your friends. I think that's everything.
5 stars.
I believe it's everything. 5 stars. Or 6 stars. If you can somehow hack iTunes to give us 6 stars,
no,
do that too.
That. Don't say those things on air.
Do that. Hack iTunes.
Someone's going to slap me in the face with a lawsuit.
And then hack the CIA.
No.
And give them 6 stars too.
All right, we're done.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
You madman.